Welcome everybody to MUTV's Sit Down with a Marquette Athlete. I'm Jonathan Fick, and today I'm joined by Rob Frozena of the Marquette men's basketball team. How you doing today?
I'm doing good. Thanks for having me.
Now, before we dive into it, got a little kind of offbeat kind of question to ask you. Well, we broadcasted your exhibition game this past weekend, and before the game, Liam McMorrow walked up to me and asked me to call you Peter Parker when you got in the game. What's the story behind that one?
There is no story at all. It was actually that day that he thought of that nickname. I was just in the locker room, and he's like getting his ankle taped, and he's just like, Rob, you know what? You look like Peter Parker. And I'm like, why is that? And he's just like, I don't know, you look like him. And I'm like, I don't know, is that a good thing? And he's kind of like, that doesn't look like me. Are you kidding me? I mean, he's sitting there, and he's saying, oh, you could be Spider-Man. And I'm like, I don't want to be Spider-Man, because he's kind of, a little shaky and, on the other side. So I don't think we look anything alike. I don't think there's any comparison whatsoever.
All right, well, let's put that aside. And just, so much has been said this year about the off-season conditioning and the training and the toughness of the practices. And all these guys, you're a walk-on. How do you motivate yourself to get out of bed and put yourself through boot camp, so for instance?
Yeah, as a walk-on, your role's a little bit different, obviously, than the rest of the guys on the team. But, motivation for me is, ever since I was a little kid, in a sense, I grew up watching Marquette. I'm from Wisconsin, so a lot of people would think, I grew up watching Madison, but Marquette's always been my team. So it's always been like a dream of mine to, get on the team and possibly walk on. And when I was given the opportunity, I tried it out. And, I guess that's enough motivation for me, because it's an incredible experience, and, only a handful of people can actually, get the opportunity. So.
All right, well, since you're walk-on, you're practicing with the team, you're traveling with the team. Tell us a little bit about practice. There's something that, jumps out at you that the fans may not be able to see because they only get a chance to see games. What's it like in that gym?
Well, practice is very intense. I can tell you that, for one. Coach Williams is, a huge proponent on, pace and intensity. Every drill is 100%. A lot of them full court, no out of bounds, so to speak. So, loose balls are a free game for anyone. I think a lot of people don't understand, like, team chemistry that we have on the team. A lot of people may think, oh, that's a given. But a lot of teams don't have great team chemistry. There's stuff going on in the locker room, that, there's just tension there. But our team, everyone's friends, everyone gets along great. And that only benefits us on the basketball court, that's for sure.
Oh, well, looking forward, the season's about to kick off for real. How is the season kind of shaping up, from your vantage point, the way where you stand as a walk-on?
The way it's shaping up is, it's the season is going to be beginning, but there are still a lot of things that we got to improve on. And when we went to Nebraska for our scrimmage, there were a handful of things that we had to improve on. And, Coach addressed them, and we improved on them. But then, at the exhibition, well, we screwed up on another handful of things. And, so we're trying to improve on that. So, the whole team right now is, constantly improving every day. And that's kind of the way the season goes. Early on in the season, you have your hiccups, everything like that, trying to, get all the wrinkles out. And we're definitely headed in the right direction, that's for sure. And it should be an exciting year.
I know every time you talk to a coach, they always say, we're only focused on today, and we're only focused on the next game. But, as players, do you guys even glimpse a little bit ahead, circle a day or two, games that really stand out as really important that you guys get yourselves up to 110% instead of 100%?
Honestly, not really. Coach is one of those people that you just mentioned who is legitimately focused on today. And he will rarely talk about tomorrow or yesterday, in a sense. Like, if we had a good practice yesterday, he'll be like, yesterday's over. Today is the day we got to get better. And he's a huge proponent on getting better every day. And as far as, like, games are concerned, if we don't take care of our business that day, well, maybe those games in the future, they're not going to mean anything. Our goal is to win a Big East championship, tournament, and then the NCAA tournament. And if we're looking ahead, then nothing else matters, because, we're not worried about who's the upcoming opponent.
All right. Well, thank you very much for dropping by.
Appreciate
really
having
excited
me.
for the season to get going in earnest. That's going to do it for us today. I'd like to thank my guest again, Rob Frozena, for sitting down with us to talk with us about the season and how it's come so far, where it's going. Remember, you can catch all of these interviews on GoMarquette.com and the MUTV Sports blog, mutv-sports.blogspot.com, and of course, Channel 99 in the dorms. Thank you very much. So now we're supposed to